The blind old man and the miracle of Jesus. In the ancient town of Jericho, there lived an old man named Baruch. For many years, he had been blind, unable to see the beauty of the world around him. Once a carpenter, his hands were now weak, and his livelihood had vanished. He sat by the roadside each day, begging for scraps and listening to the sounds of the bustling city. Though his world was shrouded in darkness, his heart held a flicker of hope. Each night, he would pray, "Lord, if you hear me, if you see me, have mercy on me. I do not wish for riches, only to see the light once more." One day, Baruch heard an unusual commotion. The voices of the people grew louder, filled with excitement and awe. "Jesus of Nazareth is here," someone shouted. Baruch's heart leapt. He had heard of Jesus, the healer, the teacher, the Son of God. People spoke of how he had made the lame walk, the deaf hear, and even the blind see. This was his chance. With all the strength he had, he cried out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." The crowd tried to silence him, telling him to be quiet, but he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus heard his cries and stopped. The crowd hushed as Jesus spoke. "Bring him to me." The people, now curious, helped Baruch to his feet and led him to Jesus. As he stood before the Lord, his heart pounded. Then, in a voice filled with love, Jesus asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" With tears streaming down his face, Baruch whispered, "Lord, I want to see." Jesus gently placed his hands on the old man's eyes and said, "Your faith has healed you. Open your eyes and see." For the first time in years, Baruch felt warmth spread through his body. Slowly, he opened his eyes, and light flooded in. He saw the sky, the faces of the people, and, most importantly, the kind and radiant face of Jesus himself. Overcome with joy, Baruch fell to his knees, weeping. "Thank you, Lord. Thank you," he cried. The crowd gasped in amazement, then erupted in praise. "A miracle," they exclaimed. "God is truly with us." From that day forward, Baruch followed Jesus, never forgetting the moment his world was transformed. He spent his days sharing his testimony, telling everyone he met about the one who had restored his sight, not just to his eyes, but to his soul. And so, the old blind man who once sat in darkness walked in the light for the rest of his days, forever grateful for the mercy of Jesus. Baruch's newfound sight was not just a physical gift, but a spiritual awakening. Everywhere he went, he proclaimed the greatness of Jesus. He visited towns and villages, speaking in the marketplaces, telling people about the miracle that had changed his life. Many listened in wonder, some believing immediately, while others doubted. But Baruch never wavered. He would say, "I was blind, but now I see. Not just with my eyes, but with my heart. Jesus has given me more than sight, he has given me purpose." One day, as he walked through the streets of another town, he encountered a young woman who was weeping. She had been cast out by her family and left with nowhere to turn. Baruch sat beside her and said, "Do not weep, for Jesus sees you." She too found hope. Baruch realized that his miracle was not just for him, it was meant to be shared. And so, he continued to travel, offering kindness, wisdom, and the story of his salvation. Years passed, and Baruch grew older. But his spirit remained strong, and his faith never wavered. In his final days, he sat among his children and grandchildren, telling them once more about the day Jesus touched his eyes and changed his life forever. And when Baruch finally closed his eyes for the last time, he did so with the peace of knowing that he would open them again in the presence of the Lord, in a light that would never fade. Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and support this channel as we continue to share great stories about God. Thanks for listening.